So, you want to buy a homage watch. What do? You go on AliExpress. Plenty of options, spoiled for choice. You want to get something decent, but the most common problem with AliExpress watches is the inconsistencies in quality control. What do? You buy a San Martin. Hi guys, how are you? Welcome back to the channel. My name is George, and in today's video, we'll take a look at the San Martin SN004-G. I bought this watch a while ago. I think it was December 2020 if I'm not mistaken, and I paid around $246 for it. I'll put a link in the description box below. It's an affiliate link. You know how everything works. You don't have to pay anything extra, just AliExpress pays me a small commission for pointing you guys in the right direction. The reason why I actually bought this watch was because of the size. Because to be honest, when I actually saw that San Martin is releasing another Rolex Submariner homage, I was like, oh my god, not another one. But boy was I wrong. Let's take a look. San Martin have cemented their position on AliExpress as the go-to brand for higher-end homage watches. As a whole package, this watch is so good. One way to cement that position when selling on a market filled with so many manufacturers that sell watches at a much lower price is very simple. It's to be consistent in delivering quality, and soon everyone will know that this is the standard of all your products. The dimensions are, at least for me, bang on, specifically when you consider the fact that pretty much all the divers in today's market, homages or not, are over 40 millimeters. Actually, as a matter of fact, most of them come around 42 millimeters. Let's just some dimensions out of the way. So we have a diameter of 38 millimeters, but we have a slightly overhanging bezel. So with that, you have a 39 millimeters. You have a thickness of 13 millimeters with a domed sapphire crystal. That's what I measure with my calipers. You have a lug-to-lug of 45.5, and you have these male end links. So with these, you have a lug-to-lug of 52, and we have a lug width of 20 millimeters. Now the thing is that the dial doesn't take that much space, and this watch plays this visual trick where it looks and wears a lot smaller. And I keep saying, and I keep coming back to it, for me personally, I think that this is the perfect size, and it just hits that sweet spot, specifically for my wrist, because I don't have a big wrist. And it doesn't feel heavy at all. It has 130 grams. So again, like someone would say, just hits that sweet spot. The case is constructed out of 316L stainless steel, and the level of finishing is up there with watches costing a lot more. Fine brushing on the sides with chamfered edges, screw down crown at the 3 o'clock position with no crown guards. Now it is signed, and it doesn't have the crown guards just to kind of keep that vintage feel going, but it's signed with a shark logo that I feel shouldn't be there. It just doesn't kind of work with the whole theme of the watch and what the watch stands for. Remember that, because we'll come back to that later. The crown action is very, very nice. The crown is grippy, it's very easy to operate, and the mechanics of it actually feel very, very nice. You unscrew it, pops out, turn the watch, or adjust the time if needed. Gentle push, screws back in, very, very easy. The bezel on this is absolutely gorgeous. Unidirectional, 120 superb clicks. I mean, out of all my divers, this one, in my opinion, has the best action. I just love it. It just feels right. Coin edged with a ceramic insert, lume pip at the 12 o'clock position, and like I mentioned earlier on, it does overhang a little bit, but I kind of like that because it makes it easier to grip and it makes it easier to turn. The dial is covered by a domed piece of a sapphire crystal with this kind of light blue air coating. I wouldn't say there's a lot of it because in combination with the bezel insert, the light reflects off it, actually reflects off it a bit too much, if you know what I mean. Also, the dial has this matte, slightly texture black finish, everything printed with the San Martin logo at the 12 o'clock position in italic font. And at the 6 o'clock position, we also have 200 meters, 660 feet, and also printed Submariner. Also remember this, because we will come back to it a little later. They went for the DLC coated Mercedes style hands in this gold tone, which works really, really well with the style. There is lume as well, because it wouldn't be a proper San Martin if it didn't have lume. The application is great and it lasts. C3 vintage old radium style. The thing with vintage style lume is that it doesn't last as much as normal C3, but there's loads of it here and you won't even notice the difference between the two. The movement powering this watch is the trusty Seiko NH35A, common presence at this price range. It hacks, it hand winds, and it's a good workhorse. One thing to mention is that the NH35 has a date function and our watch doesn't have a date window, so you get that ghost position when pulling the crown out at the first position. So as you can see here, nothing happens. To be honest, I didn't miss the date window, and also that ghost position doesn't bother me. And besides, the lack of date window kind of stays true with the original design. Moving on to the bracelet, guys. So we have this 3-link oyster riveted style with the addition of these polished platforms on the sides. It starts at 20 millimeters at the lugs. It tapers down to 16 where it meets the clasp. Solid links, solid male end links, and on the clasp we have the San Martin logo engraved on it. Double pushes to release, by the way. And one thing that I should mention is that I received an older version of the watch because mine has a smaller link here where it meets the clasp, which doesn't allow me to use all the available slots in the clasp. Now the newer versions will have a longer link here, which wouldn't have this rivet getting in the way. Lucky for me, I was able to adjust the watch properly, so I didn't have any issues. But as far as I know, you can get in touch with San Martin and they will be willing to send you one of these links, one of the longer links for free, which is pretty cool. So I didn't need that, I didn't get in touch with them, but then again, it's a thing that you should be aware of. To sum it all up, guys, I think this is an amazing watch. There are a few things that I think San Martin could have done better or not have done at all. For instance, there are 3 different logos on this watch, 2 of which I can kind of justify and make sense of, but the third one, in my opinion, has no proper connection with the actual watch. And the one that I'm talking about is the shark on the crown, the shark logo on the crown. It's like they ran out of parts, they ran out of normal crowns and they just used that. I would have preferred just a simple crown because it has no connection to the actual theme of the watch or what the watch stands for. It's not the end of the world, but again, and also another thing would be the fact that my watch has Submariner printed at the 6 o'clock position. Now the newer version has automatic printed at the 6 o'clock position. This is not available anymore, and also the newer version has the longer link that I mentioned. The important thing is that San Martin rectified all these things to an extent by, again, sending the new links and also changing the writing at the 6 o'clock position and not producing that anymore. Even with all of these things, I personally have a soft spot for this watch, mainly because of the way it wears and the quality of finishing that is comparable with watches that cost a lot more. And don't get me started on the bracelet, because this is absolutely amazing. It just feels really, really good and solid. Mine has a few scuffs on it, but it doesn't matter. And also, I just think they over delivered on the quality. And the thing is, this is what they do. They always over deliver on the quality. Even though with those two mistakes that they obviously rectified, like I mentioned, they actually made a really, really solid watch. And when it comes to quality, there's nothing you can say to them, genuinely, especially on AliExpress. One thing that I would have loved to see, actually that I would love to see from Saint Martin, is them making their own watch. Not an homage watch, just something that they do, an original design, because they have the quality nailed down and they can do that consistently. And I would just love to see that from them. Another thing that I would love to see on this, which I think would make the watch actually stand out, would be drilled lugs. I think it would add with the overall practicality, and it would add points to the authenticity of the watch. So Saint Martin, if you're listening and thinking about making some kind of version 2, drilled lugs, I think that would make such a huge difference. So that was it, guys. That wraps up today's video. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this particular watch. Let me know what you think about Saint Martin as a brand, because let's face it, they kind of ran away with the lead. They're in a league of their own on AliExpress. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you very, very much for watching. Please don't forget to click a like, subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.